Hey, Felix here, a 4x4 agent, and today we're going to pretension the rope, the synthetic rope on my winch. So why are we pretensioning the rope? So when the drum is spooled with the rope at the factory, it's just done by a machine, there's no tension on it. And what you want to do is you want to get it tensioned up before you use it to tow yourself or someone out, simply because if you don't, because the rope on there is kind of loose, when you put tension on it and you pull real hard, it has a chance of catching on itself and slipping through the grooves and stuff. That's why you want it on there kind of with some tension. So it is recommended that you pretension your winch before using it for the first time. So that's what we're going to do today. So let me go set everything up where we're going to do this, and we'll be right back. All right, so what we got going on is I put that into free spool mode. I pulled the whole cable out all the way down to the bare. We'll cover that in a sec. I took my tree saver, attached a soft shackle to it, and hooked on the Factor 55 Ultra hook. And I just have all the rope laying here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, by hand, without any pressure on the rope, spool back. Warn recommends 10 rotations around the drum. A lot of people I've seen online say 5. I'm going to kind of split the difference and go 7. And then once I have 7 initial rotations spooled in, I'm going to back up the Jeep, put tension on the rope, and we'll be right back at that point. All right, so we've backed up to where the rope is straightened out. So there's no tension on it yet. The Jeep is in neutral and running. So you want to make sure it's running so it doesn't drain your battery as you run the winch, and put it into neutral. So the one thing you're going to have to do with these newer Jeeps is, because of auto park, you're going to need to put in the seat belt to disable auto park. Otherwise, it's going to throw it in from neutral into park while you're doing this, and you can potentially damage something or at least cause unnecessary strain to the components. So it's in neutral. Auto park has been disengaged by plugging in the seat belt. The rope doesn't have any tension on it. I have 7 rotations already on the drum without tension, and now we're going to start slowly towing it in, putting tension on the rope, and watching as the rope goes around the drum to make sure it doesn't overlap itself. So just using the remote, I'm going to draw it in little by little while kind of guiding the rope. Make sure to wear gloves while you do any kind of winching or towing. You don't want to cut up your hands. And I'm just going to get the rope to go slowly around the drum in proper rotation. So we'll be right back. So just to show you a little bit what I'm doing here. So it's best to do it with 2 people, where you are tied to another vehicle, and you're pulling them or you're pulling yourself to them. So if you're pulling yourself to them, you want them to be in park, you want their emergency brake on, or if you're going to pull them to you, then you want you to be in park, you want your emergency brake on, and then when you pull them, they want to be in neutral. So whoever's getting pulled needs to be in neutral. Since I'm doing it on my own, ideally, if you do it on your own, you want to find a road with a little incline so that when you go in neutral, the Jeep kind of tends to roll back and put tension on the rope. I'm doing it right now on a flat surface. So there's a problem that once I start pulling it in, it basically starts rolling because it's in neutral. So what I'm doing, because I'm doing it on my own and I don't have a road with an incline here, I'm in the Jeep, operating the winch from inside. Also, I'm steering to avoid that vehicle, and I'm applying slight braking pressure to kind of give it some resistance. So you don't want to be fully sitting on the brake, but just a little bit, so basically doesn't, as soon as you jerk it one time, it doesn't just start rolling. And then every so often I jump out and go take a look and make sure that it's spooling properly and it's not messing the spool up. So gonna keep going here. We're almost at the end, and be right back. All right, so we're almost all the way in. There's just a little bit left, and I'm gonna run this in by hand, just holding it, putting some pressure on it, and pulling it in. So be right back. All right, so we're done. We've pretensioned the rope, so anytime I go out and I need to get myself out of a bind or someone else, the rope is ready to go. So if you have any questions, leave a comment, like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.